and welcome back to the Fashion Academy's podcast. Hi, my name is Nabila.
And hi, my name is Kimia.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about the difference between a business and a brand.
Today, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. We're going to be talking about the difference between branding and a business.
So, yeah, would you like to tell us what a business is?
Yeah, so first off, a business is either a product or a service that you provide that you make gain of. So it's either you're working in fashion or you're working in food or whatever you choose, you can just make that into a business. That's not the same as a brand, though.
Yeah, so the difference now between a business and a brand is now when you turn that business into something that's more personal and more unique, maybe you differentiate it from other businesses out there. You have like a brand identity, your name, your logo, you have a tagline, you have a certain color palette that you follow. And then you also have a more emotional connection with your customers. So your customers know you for this particular thing and they come to you because of your brand, not just because you sell it. Because, we have different businesses that
Yeah.
sell the same thing, but your brand is now what makes you different from all the other businesses.
Yeah, so basically your brand makes you unique. It's what makes you unique.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think if you're talking about businesses, right? A few examples would be like some of the most known ones. Now, it's going to be tricky, but I'm just going to call this out there. So you know how we have certain how we have government producers from ABBA that send in clothes into all parts of the country. You can call that a business. And why you don't even know who
they
make these
are.
clothes, the clothes don't have names on them. You can mention that as like a very well known example of what a business is. Or you can have other well known names like maybe MTN that provides telecommunication services. That's also a business, even though it has evolved into a brand. But we have things like that. So I don't know, do you have other examples for
Yeah,
brands?
so I mean, we have things like, for example, I use Dangote as well as an example of someone who probably started out as a business.
Yes.
I would say Dangote was a business. He was just selling a service or products. He was
Yeah.
selling products for money. But then I think he has now become a brand now because he's well known. He differentiates himself from, other products out there, and people buy his products because they know his name and they buy it for the name as well. So I think he's an example of someone who has turned from being a business into a brand.
Yeah. And I think you can also, if you're talking about businesses still, we can also talk about our general fabric sellers that import fabrics to sell to tailors. These are people that we know their work is their business.
Yeah.
We do have those that would evolve into like brands, but most of them, when you go to the market, you buy your fabric from this person, that person, right? So these are businesses, but some of them can evolve into brands. You can also mention like tailors that literally sew almost everything. So those are also businesses. But if, again, as Nabila has mentioned, you have to do more to evolve into a brand.
A brand, exactly. Yeah. I think maybe I'll touch on you talking about the whole fabrics businesses. So, for example, now those that we go to in the markets that sell fabrics, they are just kind of businesses.
Yeah.
And then I think an example I would use for like something like that is somebody who sells fabric that I would say is a brand or has turned into a brand is a fabric store like Masiska.
Yes.
Because I would say she sells fabrics, but she's now well known for selling a particular type of fabrics, a particular quality of fabrics, and she's kind of made a name for that. So that's kind of a differentiation I would use in people who sell the same thing, but one that has become a brand and one that's a business.
Would you call Chinedu a business or a brand?
That's interesting because it's like he sells fabric
Yeah.
For money, but it's like we go to him because we know him, we know we'll get a particular type of service, we'll get a particular type of fabric, particular type of quality. So I think that's where we kind of realize that as much as there's a difference between businesses and brands, they do coexist at the same time.
Yeah.
So, there's some that, can be in between. There's some that maybe are still businesses and on the verge of becoming a brand. But yeah, so I think they can also coexist, basically.
So that means regardless of wherever you are right now, it is very possible for you to start off as a business and then move into branding, right? So you can start as your normal tailor, sewing everything. Then after a while, you would decide, okay, I want to focus either on menswear, children, or women's wear, and even women's wear. You have to decide, okay, am I doing bridal? Am I doing ashwabi? Am I doing ready to wear? Same thing with menswear, same thing with kids wear, right? So, if I were to ask, I would say, do you have like a few pointers on how you can move from business and then to becoming like a full-on brand?
Becoming a full-on brand. So I think, that's where, I mean, businesses, I think basically as a business, the most important thing people think about is like you have a name, you like have a registered name.
Yeah.
If you want to have a shop or like an Instagram page or whatever, you have those and you're kind of just selling your products basically. But when you now want to move into being like a proper brand, you now have to think about what is going to set you apart, number one. So I think the first thing is you have to find something that makes you unique.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
The first thing, unique from all the other businesses out there. So once you have something unique, you now focus on your brand identity. So putting together, apart from that name, what are things like, what's your tagline going to be? What's your color palette going to be? What type of fonts and typography are you going to use? What story are you going to tell from your brand? Because I think one of the important parts of a brand is you're telling a story.
Yeah.
It's not just about the product. You're also telling people a story and telling people why, you feel they should buy your product. And you're kind of building a community of people that are coming to you for a particular reason. You're building an emotional connection with your customers. So I think those are kind of things you want to start thinking about and focusing on if you want to turn from being a business into a brand.
Okay, so I guess from next week, students will have a lot to learn.
It's a lot. People never expect it at first. They come in thinking, oh, they're not sure what a brand is, and then you learn these things and you realize, oh, that's actually, those people that sometimes maybe think they're brands or call themselves a brands, they don't realize that's actually not. But yeah.
For me. I know I attended your class for like a week. Well,
and how was it?
Amidst much obstacles and challenges.
Amidst.
But it was a very good one, and I would definitely I would be sneaking. Can I say? But yeah, I'm sure it's going to be an amazing. It was an amazing class. It was very insightful. Had a lot of information that I needed, and I was so happy to be part of it. And yeah, if you don't know, we have a class starting next week.
Yeah. So if you want to turn your business into a brand,
make sure that you
book our brand.
Exactly. The Fashion Academy offers the best course. Bye.
Bye.